Let's talk about authority by trying to answer the question, who knows the most about what it is to be a struggling performing artist? Some possible answers could be a musician, actor, or dancer who is currently struggling or who struggled in the past, a magazine journalist or other news reporter who has written about struggling artists, a teacher who has seen their students struggle, an artist manager who has worked with struggling artists, a political lobbyist who advocates for arts funding, or a professor or other researcher who has written books or scholarly articles about struggling artists. Each of these people knows something about what it means to be a struggling performing artist. They all have authority on this topic. The type of authority they have falls into 4 broad categories. There are people with personal authority who have lived the experience, in this case, the actual struggling artists. There are those who have professional authority. They have encountered the experience in the course of their profession. Those are teachers, artist managers, could also be a psychologist or someone else who has worked professionally with struggling artists. Then there are those with journalistic authority who have written or reported on the issue, like journalists, reporters, or activists. And finally, there are those with academic authority who do research on the topic and study it in depth. This is usually professors, but it could even be students doing research as part of an advanced degree, like a doctorate in this subject area. Each type of authority comes with its own pros and cons. Let's look at each one in turn. First, personal authority. Since these people have actually lived through the issue, they have a deep personal experience with it, and they have an insider's first-hand viewpoint. However, they only have that one experience, which may be different than others. So sometimes they can be unreliable, and they're often really biased to that one perspective. Someone with professional authority usually has been exposed to multiple experiences, so they have a wider view of the topic and can hopefully give a more unbiased perspective. In addition, they probably have specialized education and experience that's relevant to the topic. But sometimes these people may have a narrow focus. So an artist manager may only see that their clients are struggling to find jobs and may not understand how it affects the rest of their lives or what outside factors may be affecting their ability to get those jobs. And they may have an agenda, like an artist manager whose success is linked to that of their clients. Those with journalistic authority, like reporters and activists, can be really helpful for their ability to bring together different pieces of the puzzle in order to tell the story of that issue. However, they usually aren't experts and often rely on just a few sources. And even more so than professionals, journalists almost always have an agenda. They often spin the story to highlight a particular viewpoint or to create shocking headlines that grab readers' attention. Lastly, those with academic authority can be very reliable. Since they have lots of education on that subject, they're often considered experts. They've looked at lots of sources, so they can provide the big picture view and offer a deeper analysis. And they're more often unbiased. However, they may miss the human side of a story within that big picture. Remember, each of these types of authority can be valid depending on what information you need. They each have their pros and cons, so keep a critical eye on every resource you use.